You like people, just not when they come over. It sounds simple, but if your chest tightens when the doorbell rings, you know it's more than that. There's a special kind of peace when no one knocks. The air feels calm. Your mind slows down, and for a moment you can finally breathe and feel like yourself again. For years, I thought something was wrong with me. Friends could host visitors for hours, talk for fun, laugh easily. I would smile, play along, but inside I was counting the minutes until silence returned. And the moment that door closed, my whole body would exhale, as if I'd been holding my breath the entire time. If that sounds like you, there's nothing wrong with you. What you feel isn't coldness. It's your body asking for safety. Psychology calls it overstimulation, when too much social input overwhelms your mind and makes it hard to relax. According to Dr. Elaine Aron, who studied highly sensitive people, about 1 in 5 of us have nervous systems that react more strongly. We don't just notice people, we feel their moods, tone, and tension before they even speak. That's why a quick visit for someone else can feel like emotional static for you. It's not that you dislike people, you just sense too much at once. Carl Jung wrote that some souls are oriented inward, drawn to solitude not out of fear, but because their energy renews from within. Your home becomes the bridge between your inner and outer worlds, a sacred space where your body and mind finally fall into rhythm again. Think about how your body reacts when you're alone. Shoulders drop, breathing slows, you feel that soft hum of peace in the background. It's not laziness, it's regulation. Neuropsychologists have found that solitude helps the brain shift from the social vigilance network to the default mode network, the system responsible for self-reflection, emotional processing, and creativity. In other words, silence doesn't disconnect you, it repairs you. But society rarely celebrates that. We live in a world that equates visibility with value. People expect you to answer the door, join every call, attend every gathering as if constant connection equals kindness. Yet for some of us, peace doesn't live in the crowd. It lives behind a closed door. You might feel guilty for canceling plans or relieved when someone texts, "Let's reschedule," but that's not selfish. That's self-awareness. You've simply learned to listen to the quiet voice inside the one that says, "Not today, I need stillness." And here's the paradox. The more you honor that stillness, the more deeply you can connect later, not from exhaustion, but from overflow. You're not rejecting people, you're protecting the version of yourself that can love them sincerely. So if you've ever felt misunderstood for choosing solitude, know this: your peace is not a weakness, it's your compass. And every time you close the door, you're not shutting the world out, you're coming home to yourself. There's a soft kind of strength in that, a quiet defiance in saying, "I belong to my own calm." And maybe that's where the real story begins. Think about it. When someone steps into your home, something subtle shifts inside. You start reading the room automatically. Tone, posture, facial tension, energy. You scan without realizing it. The brain starts working in the background, decoding 1,000 small cues, predicting behavior, adjusting your own responses. It's not conscious, it's instinct. You switch from being to managing. And that tiny shift costs energy. What feels effortless for others can feel quietly exhausting for you. Psychologists call this the social monitoring system, a built-in radar that helps us read and predict others' emotions. It's useful in public, helping us stay socially aware and safe. But at home, if that system never turns off, it drains you. You can't fully rest while scanning for signals. For introverts and highly sensitive people, this system works on high alert, like a car alarm that goes off at every passing vibration. The body can't rest until the world quiets down again. That's why your own room feels sacred. It's the only place where your nervous system finally drops its guard. Dr. Stephen Porges, the creator of the polyvagal theory, explains that our sense of safety isn't a thought, it's a physiological state. When you feel in control of your surroundings, the vagus nerve activates the body's rest and restore mode, slowing the heart, relaxing the breath, and bringing calm. But when control is disrupted, even through something as harmless as an unplanned visit, the same system shifts to protection. Your pulse quickens, muscles tense, and your body braces itself. You're not being rude, your biology is protecting its balance. Carl Jung once wrote, "Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. That irritation you feel when someone lingers too long isn't about judgment, it's your psyche whispering, 'My boundaries are being tested.'" For people who live deeply attuned to the inner world, control becomes the language of safety. Having space, predictability, and time to recover doesn't make you detached, it makes you self-aware. Some people recharge through contact. They open the door and feel alive in the exchange. Others, like us, recharge through containment, by being still, by retreating inward. We come alive not in the noise of connection, but in the stillness that follows it. And neither way is wrong. These are simply two different architectures of energy. The world needs both, the ones who connect outward and the ones who restore inward. When you close your door, you're not shutting life out. You're rebuilding coherence. You're allowing your inner world to realign without interruption. Studies in environmental psychology have shown that spaces designed for solitude, quiet corners, warm lighting, minimal clutter, lower cortisol levels and increase emotional regulation. Even small acts like rearranging your furniture, lighting a candle, or sitting in silence can restore your sense of control. Your body recognizes order, and in that order, it finds peace. Many of us grew up in homes where calm was unpredictable, where noise, tension, or chaos taught us to stay alert. So as adults, we create spaces that finally let us exhale. Our homes become sanctuaries not from preference, but from necessity. Every soft lamp, every closed door, every quiet morning becomes a declaration. This time I choose what enters my world. And in that choice lies healing. Control isn't the enemy of connection. It's the foundation that makes real connection possible. Because when you feel safe within yourself, you can open again, slowly, authentically, without fear of losing your peace. You learn to connect not from anxiety, but from alignment. So the next time you hesitate before saying yes to a visit, listen closely. Your body isn't resisting people, it's remembering peace. And that peace isn't selfish, it's sacred. Silence has a strange way of holding you. It doesn't demand, it doesn't judge, it just receives. When the world quiets down and no one is watching, something in you exhales that's been holding on for too long. The noise outside fades, and what's left is the rhythm of your own breath, slow, steady, almost sacred. In those moments, you're not performing, you're not managing impressions or guarding boundaries. You're simply existing. And that simple act of existing, unobserved, unedited, is what your nervous system calls healing. Dr. Andrew Huberman, a neuroscientist at Stanford, once said that the body doesn't truly rest in sleep alone. It rests when it feels safe. That's why you can sleep for 8 hours and still wake up tired if your spirit never had silence. Healing begins not when you close your eyes, but when you stop bracing for the next interruption. When you sit in your quiet home, you might notice something curious. Your mind starts to slow down, but your awareness sharpens. That's not emptiness, that's repair. In neuroscience, this is when the default mode network becomes active, allowing your brain to integrate memories, emotions, and meaning. It's the same network that lights up when you're daydreaming, meditating, or reflecting, states that rebuild emotional clarity after too much stimulation. So when silence feels good, it's not avoidance, it's integration. Your brain is cleaning the static left behind by social noise. It's untangling your thoughts, restoring the threads of who you are beneath all the roles you've played. Carl Jung described this process as turning inward toward the source of renewal. He believed that solitude allows the unconscious to speak, not in words, but in sensations, images, and quiet realizations. That's why stillness can feel both soothing and confronting. Because once the noise fades, truth has space to surface. You begin to hear the things you've ignored, the subtle ache of overextension, the need for gentleness, the memory of times you didn't listen to yourself. Many people fear silence because it mirrors back everything they've been avoiding. But for those who've learned its rhythm, silence becomes medicine. It shows you where you're tight, where you've been overgiving, where you need rest. And slowly it teaches you that healing isn't found in doing more, but in allowing more space, more breath, more honesty. Think of it like this. Every day, your senses collect fragments of the world, sounds, glances, words, energy. Silence is the space where those fragments return to order. Like a snow globe finally settling, the storm clears, and what remains is clarity. That's why, when you spend time alone, you don't actually disconnect, you recalibrate. You reconnect with the most essential parts of you, the child who needed safety, the adult who craves stillness, the soul that remembers peace. Research in emotional regulation confirms this too. Studies published in Frontiers in Psychology found that periods of deliberate solitude increase heart rate variability, a marker of resilience and stress recovery. In other words, silence literally strengthens your capacity to handle life. It's not just calm, it's conditioning. So when you light a candle and let the quiet hum around you, know that something profound is happening beneath the surface. Your brain is rewiring. Your heart is resetting. Your body is remembering what safety feels like without needing anyone else to provide it. You might think you're just sitting there in silence, but you're actually listening to your cells, your emotions, your soul. And that listening is what turns solitude into sanctuary. Because sometimes healing isn't loud or dramatic. It doesn't come in breakthroughs or grand gestures. It arrives quietly in the breath between thoughts, in the stillness after noise, in that sacred moment when you realize you're finally home, not in a place, but in your own calm. People often mistake silence for distance. When you choose to stay home, they call it coldness. When you protect your time, they see rejection. But what they don't see is the deeper truth. Your peace isn't absence, it's awareness. You're not avoiding life, you're simply tuned to a quieter rhythm, one that modern noise can't easily understand. For you, calm isn't empty, it's full of presence. We live in a world that worships visibility. Society praises those who say yes to everything. The full calendar, the crowded room, the open door. Being constantly reachable has become the new definition of kindness. But constant connection doesn't always equal closeness. For some of us, peace lives in pauses, not parties. When plans get cancelled, we don't feel left out. We feel restored. When weekends stay quiet, we don't feel bored, we feel balanced. It's not detachment, it's recovery. Psychologists call this energy sensitivity. It's when your nervous system picks up on the emotional signals around you, facial expressions, tone, tension, before your mind even realizes it. You don't just notice people's moods, you feel them in your body. Studies in neuroscience show that highly attuned people have greater activity in the brain's insula, the empathy center that mirrors others' emotions. It's a beautiful gift, but also a heavy one, because while others can walk away from a room unchanged, you walk away carrying the atmosphere inside you. Dr. Elaine Aron's research on highly sensitive people revealed that roughly 1 in 5 individuals experience life at this deeper level. For them, even small interactions can leave strong imprints. When someone enters your home, your body registers their energy long before your thoughts catch up. That's why a short visit for others can feel like emotional static for you. The subtle tension, the shifts in tone, the small talk that asks for more energy than it gives. You're not rejecting people, you're processing them. Your body is simply trying to return to equilibrium after the input overload. Carl Jung once said, "Loneliness does not come from having no people around, but from being unable to share what matters most." That's what you crave, not crowds, but connection. Not more voices, but more meaning. You'd rather share silence with someone who understands it than fill hours with empty words. Surface-level talk drains you not because you're distant, but because you're honest. You feel too deeply to pretend. And when the house is quiet again, you may feel a soft heaviness in your chest, what some therapists call empathy residue. It's the emotional weight of having absorbed others' stories, frustrations, and hopes. Solitude becomes the way you wash that energy off. Alone, your breathing deepens, your heartbeat slows, the noise dissolves, and you return to yourself. The silence you crave isn't isolation, it's integration. It's how your nervous system sorts through what's yours and what isn't. So no, you're not antisocial, you're energy aware. You've learned that peace isn't something you stumble upon, it's something you protect. Every no to noise is a yes to clarity. Every quiet evening is a form of healing. You're not hiding from the world, you're honoring the part of you that feels life more deeply than most. And in that gentle awareness, you're not rejecting connection. You're choosing the kind that restores instead of drains. Because the truth is, your silence doesn't mean distance, it means depth. It means your energy is sacred and you finally learn to spend it wisely, softly, consciously, and without apology. Sometimes, wanting to be alone isn't a choice, it's a response. Your body knows before your mind does when it's reached its limit. You feel it quietly, the way your chest tightens when someone knocks, the way your breath shortens when plans change suddenly, the way your peace slips away the moment someone steps inside your calm. That isn't coldness, it's your body whispering, "I need to rest now." We often talk about peace as something mental, a matter of mindset or attitude. But peace lives in the body first. It hides in your heartbeat, your breathing, in the slow rhythm that returns only when you stop pretending you're okay. When you're alone, your body begins to release the invisible armor it's worn all day. The posture, the smile, the little ways you keep yourself on for others. And when that armor falls away, you realize how heavy it truly was. There's a reason solitude feels safe. Dr. Stephen Porges, through his polyvagal theory, explains that our sense of safety isn't a thought, it's a physical state. When your environment feels calm and predictable, a part of your nervous system signals, "You're safe now." Your breath deepens, your heart slows, the body moves from defense to rest. But when something unpredictable happens, even a friendly knock at the door, the same system can tighten instantly, preparing to guard. If you've ever wondered why visitors drain you, this is why. It's not that you dislike people, it's that your body reads every presence as new information to process, tone, energy, emotion, expectation. You start scanning without realizing it, and that constant scanning costs energy. For those who are highly sensitive or emotionally attuned, it's like the volume of the world is always turned up. Solitude then becomes the only time the noise fades enough for the nervous system to repair. Many of us grew up in unpredictable environments, homes where calm was rare, where feelings weren't safe to show. So as adults, we find peace not in noise, but in control. Our homes become sacred, not because they're beautiful, but because they're consistent. Every closed door, every soft lamp, every quiet morning is the body's way of saying, "This time I choose who enters my world," and in that choice lies healing. You've probably felt it, that invisible shift when you walk through your own door after a long day. Your shoulders drop, your breath deepens, the air feels softer, lighter, almost holy. That's not laziness, that's restoration. It's your body remembering its rhythm after a day of being on alert. Peace, for you, isn't a luxury, it's recovery. So the next time you crave quiet, don't question it. It's not your personality being too sensitive, it's your nervous system asking for mercy. You've spent years learning how to survive the noise. Now you're learning how to heal in the stillness. That isn't isolation, it's wisdom. Because sometimes the most powerful act of self-love is simply closing the door and letting your body finally believe that it's safe. There's a quiet kind of strength in saying no without guilt. For most of us, boundaries weren't something we were taught, they were something we had to build out of exhaustion. We learnt them the hard way, after too many moments of saying yes when our hearts whispered no. Setting limits doesn't mean you've grown distant, it means you've finally started listening to your own capacity. For years you might have believed that being kind meant being available, that love was measured by how much of yourself you could give. But peace has taught you something different. Love given without energy becomes depletion, not devotion. You can't pour from a nervous system that's constantly on alert. Boundaries aren't walls, they're doorways with locks. You can choose to open or close, depending on the energy that arrives. Dr. Brené Brown once said, "Boundaries are the distance at which I can love you and me simultaneously." That's the balance healing asks for to protect your peace and your connection. Because when you overextend, resentment grows where compassion once lived. You start showing up from obligation instead of sincerity, and slowly your presence stops feeling like home, even to yourself. Many people fear boundaries because they sound harsh, but real boundaries are soft. They don't shout. They hum quietly beneath your life like the steady rhythm of a heartbeat. They sound like not today. They look like maybe later. They feel like I'm still here just in my own space right now. This is what emotional maturity looks like, choosing alignment over approval, honesty over performance. You've probably felt that tension, the guilt that follows when you say no, the small ache in your chest when you turn down an invitation, or when someone says, "You've changed." But guilt isn't a sign you've done something wrong. It's just the echo of an old habit dying. You spent years being praised for self-neglect, for being the one who always showed up, no matter how empty you felt. But healing asks for a different rhythm, to show up for yourself first. In psychology, this is called self-regulation, the ability to stay grounded in your own emotional energy, even when the world around you pulls. You regulate not by shutting down, but by choosing where to direct your energy. Saying no becomes an act of respect, not rebellion. You're no longer reacting from fear of disapproval. You're responding from awareness of your limits. So when you close the door, cancel the plan, or choose silence instead of conversation, you're not being selfish. You're being self-honoring. You're teaching your nervous system what safety feels like in real time. Because the truth is, you can't protect your peace and please everyone at the same time. The moment you stopped apologizing for needing space, you stopped abandoning yourself. And that's not withdrawal, that's wisdom. There comes a moment in healing when silence no longer feels like hiding, it begins to feel like truth. The quiet that once felt heavy now feels clean, like air after a storm. You stop using solitude as an escape and start using it as a mirror. You realize that being alone never meant being empty. It meant making space for what's real, for your own voice, for the kind of peace that doesn't need permission to exist. And you spent years giving too much of yourself to people, to noise, to expectations. Solitude becomes your teacher. It shows you how connection is supposed to feel, not rushed, not performative, not full of pretending. You start to see the difference between company and closeness, between attention and understanding. You begin to notice that not all togetherness feels nourishing. Sometimes it's silence that finally teaches you what real connection sounds like. Slow, kind, and unforced. The truth is, not everyone deserves access to your calm. Healing isn't about throwing every door back open. It's about learning which ones lead to peace and which ones don't. You start to recognize the people whose presence expands you instead of depleting you. The ones who speak gently, who listen without trying to fix you, who feel like stillness even when you're together. These are the rare souls who don't take from your quiet, they join it. They understand that peace shared is peace multiplied. Carl Jung once wrote, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." And part of becoming yourself is realizing that connection should never cost your peace. Healthy relationships don't require you to perform. They invite you to rest. They allow room for silence, for the pause between sentences, the space between meetings, the quiet between hearts. You stop chasing belonging through constant availability. Instead, you build it through honesty, boundaries, and resonance. It's not that you've stopped caring, you've just stopped overextending. You've learned that being selective isn't rejection, it's reverence. You no longer open every door just to prove you're kind. You open them only when it feels safe, when your energy can flow both ways. The more you honor your own peace, the more you attract people who honor it too. Healing reshapes your circle not through drama, but through quiet realignment. Some people drift away because they were connected to your old exhaustion. Others draw closer, softly, respectfully, matching the calm you've learned to create within yourself. Connection begins to feel different now. You no longer crave attention, you crave presence. You find beauty in moments where silence feels comfortable, where you can simply exist and still be understood. You notice that the right people don't rush to fill the quiet, they breathe with you in it. That's the paradox of healing. When you stop chasing love from emptiness, you begin to attract love that nourishes instead of drains. Love that meets you where you already feel whole. So if you find yourself enjoying your own company more than before, that's not isolation, that's alignment. You're finally matching the rhythm your soul was meant to live in. You've stopped scattering yourself in every direction and started choosing presence, here, now, fully. You've discovered that peace isn't a break from life, it's the foundation of it. And one day, someone will knock and you'll know. Not because your peace breaks, but because it expands. They won't take your quiet, they'll understand it. They'll bring a stillness of their own, one that fits seamlessly into yours. Until then, let your solitude keep working quietly in the background. It's not keeping you apart from the world, it's preparing you to meet it with steadiness, with clarity, and with the kind of love that begins where calm lives. There's a certain beauty in a closed door, not the kind that shuts the world out, but the kind that keeps peace in. You stand inside your quiet home, the air still, the light soft, and you realize something profound. You no longer crave noise to feel alive. What used to feel like loneliness now feels like presence. The silence that once scared you has become the sound of safety. You start to notice how different your body feels here. Unguarded, grounded, real. The world outside moves fast, but in this space, time slows enough for you to breathe, to think, to simply be. You understand now that solitude isn't emptiness, it's clarity. Every closed door, every quiet hour, every deep breath has been teaching you to listen not to the world, but to the soft intelligence within you. Healing was never about escaping people. It was about coming home to yourself so deeply that you no longer abandon your peace to keep others comfortable. You've learned that calm isn't something you stumble upon, it's something you protect. And in that protection, there's love. Not the loud kind that shouts for attention, but the quiet kind that stays even when no one's watching. There will always be people who misunderstand your calm, who call it coldness, distance, or pride. Let them. Because you no longer live for explanation, you live for alignment. You've seen what it costs to be endlessly available. You've paid that price in exhaustion, anxiety, and self-forgetting. Now you choose differently. You choose peace, not performance. Depth, not distraction. Stillness, not survival. One day, someone will knock and you'll know. Not from fear, but from recognition. They won't come to take your quiet, they'll bring their own. The air won't change, it will expand. The space will remain soft, untouched by the old chaos. That's how you'll know this connection is different. It doesn't disturb your sanctuary. It becomes part of it. Until then, keep your door closed when you need to. Let the light inside be enough. Let the silence remind you that peace doesn't require witnesses. The world will always make noise, but you don't have to let it inside. Every moment you choose stillness over rush, intention over reaction. You're not withdrawing. You're remembering who you are beneath the world's demands. So when you sit in that quiet room and the last bit of sunlight touches your floor, breathe it in. This is what peace feels like, not distant, not fragile, but earned. You've built it through awareness, through boundaries, through years of learning to listen inward instead of outward. Your solitude isn't a wall, it's a window, one that opens to the part of you that was always waiting to be seen. And when you finally whisper, "I like it here," you'll know the truth. You were never running from the world. You were finding your way back home. In the end, peace isn't found in the absence of people, it's found in the presence of yourself. Every quiet moment is a reminder of who you are beneath the noise. If this message touched you, take a breath before you go, let the calm settle. And if you think someone else might need this reminder too, share it. Like this video, leave your thoughts below, and stay with us to keep exploring the quiet side of psychology and healing. There's more softness waiting in the silence.